Today we're going to be talking about the do's and don'ts of exercise with lower back pain. Hi, my name is Dr. Ken from Trio Health Chiropractic located in Honolulu, Hawaii. And today we're going to be going over practical advice on the do's and don'ts with exercise if you're suffering with lower back pain and trying to get back to where you want to be. As a sports chiropractor and certified athletic trainer, I always see patients who ask, how can I get back to what I want to do as quickly and as safely as possible? So let's go over the do's and don'ts with exercise if you're suffering with lower back pain. The first thing you should do is start slow. A lot of us always want to be, especially if you're an athlete, you always want to get back into what you were doing as soon as possible. But sometimes you got to take a step back, look at the overall picture and timeline, and gradually progress into getting back to where we want to be. So the first thing you want to do is start slow. What does slow mean? Maybe just start off by walking or doing gentle yoga stretches. Not necessarily the very aggressive one where it hurts, but maybe a yoga flow that actually feels good and that doesn't aggravate the lower back pain that you're suffering with right now. What you don't want to do is rely on bed rest. Now, contrary to belief, rest is not always the best thing for your lower back. A lot of times we can actually accelerate the healing process by doing what we just said, like walking, doing gentle yoga flows, just moving the body slowly just to get that blood flowing and the muscle moving slightly so we can gradually progress the movements in a safe way to where we want to be. The next thing that we want to do is get professional advice. Now, a lot of times we like to ask our friends, maybe some therapists, but the person you should be asking is someone who understands the biomechanics of lower back pain. Now, this tends to be chiropractors, physical therapists, physiatrists. These are the people that you probably want to see because they've studied the body in a way of mechanics, how the body moves and heals. Now, these days, it is hard to find the right practitioner for you. So it is important not to only rely on these marketings that you see through commercials and maybe social media, but it is important to see who you can trust. Now, that comes down to word of mouth referrals. So if your family or friend had a good experience and can vouch for that practitioner, that's probably going to be really good. Reviews help a lot, especially if it says, I was suffering with this condition and this doctor helped me with that, get me out of pain. Those are the types of reviews that you should probably look at instead of just 5-star reviews with no comments or very vague comments like the staff is great. You want to really read into the reviews so that you can get the right match and get the proper treatment or solution that you might be looking for. What you don't want to do is try to figure it out on your own or just let time do its thing. Now, yes, natural history or the time can slowly help the pain reduce itself on its own without you doing too much. Although the symptom of your pain or the discomfort may have reduced, you may have gained compensation patterns that didn't actually fix or heal the root of your issue. Now, until you address that root, sometimes that flare up of that lower back keeps coming back and coming back and coming back, and now you're just adding layers into the problem when initially it could have been easily fixed. Now, every lower back pain is not textbook and everyone's healing process is different. That is why you should get a tailored plan for your pain and your lower back pain so that you can be guided back into what you want to be doing safely and make sure that the pain doesn't return. Something you want to do is to actually learn how to listen to your body. Now, if you're on the younger side, suffering with lower back pain, this is a great opportunity to learn to listen to your body. What do you mean by listening to your body? What you're essentially doing is testing yourself on your back pain with certain movements. So if you are suffering with back pain right now, you want to somehow get some sort of baseline. Now, this can be a range of motion baseline, a strength baseline, a combination of both. So just by leaning left, right, forward, back, rotating left and right, you can sometimes just get a general idea of which movements are not feeling so good and which movements are actually fine. So just by getting a baseline, when you gradually progress through your lower back injury and maybe even doing some exercises, you can retest yourself saying, hey, I couldn't turn to the right, but now it's actually a lot easier. That's a good sign. And that is an objective sign. And that is how you listen to your body. You want to focus on the exercises that help you and kind of put to the side the ones that don't help you too much. Focus on the ones that help, again, and put the ones that don't work a little bit to the side. It's not to say that that exercise that you put on the side is not helpful at all. In this circumstance and in this time, it might not be the best exercise for you. What you don't want to do is force sudden movements. Now, there's this phrase called no pain, no gain. And I want to say that that's not true. Pain does not equal better in this case and situation. Now, like I said earlier, we want to learn to listen to our body. So if there's an exercise that you're doing and there's pain, just leave that exercise on the side and you can do it another day and maybe it's going to feel better then. But at that moment, try not to force any movements that your body is not allowing. Sometimes there's weekend warriors who have been working 9 to 5 at an office, sitting down at a desk, but on the weekends they like to perhaps play pickleball or basketball. And there's nothing wrong with that. However, when we're sitting for 5 days a week and we're trying to suddenly move on the 6th and 7th day playing basketball or pickleball outside, there's things that we need to be careful of. We haven't been training our muscles and our bodies to move in certain ways we're trying to do on the weekends. Try to move throughout the weekday, whether that's walking throughout the neighborhood, doing yoga flows and stretches at home, maybe lifting weights here and there, so that it's not just a sudden thing for your body that on Saturday and Sunday your switch is on and you can do all your things, and then Monday to Friday you're just sitting at a desk. That's not necessarily ideal, and if you want to prevent future injuries, it's actually better to be moving consistently throughout the week. The last thing I want to share that has helped many of my patients is often overlooked, and this is focused breathing, or also known as meditation. Now, there's this thing called a psychosomatic pain. Now, that means that the psyche is causing physical pain. So by controlling the psyche through breathing, we can actually reduce our pain that way. So don't overlook the meditation or even just focused breathing, letting the tension go through our breath, in through our nose, out through our mouth. Doing that just consistently throughout the day can often reduce the tension and the pain levels that we might be experiencing. And finally, don't sleep on your stomach, especially if you're suffering with lower back pain. It is probably one of the worst ways to sleep for your spine, especially the lower back. Now, sometimes we like to lie on our stomach and bring one leg up. That also creates a torque or a torsion within our spine and often aggravate or spasm and delay the healing. So make sure if you are suffering with lower back pain and trying to exercise, you don't sleep on your stomach. Try to sleep on your back or your side. I hope you found value to this video. If you want to share your experience on what helped throughout your lower back pain journey, please comment them down below. Remember that health is a necessity to a good life. Take care. See you in the next video. Aloha.